New Jersey is mourning the death of Dick Codey, who passed away on Sunday morning at the age of 79. Codey served a record 50 years in the New Jersey legislature, 40 of those years in the state Senate. And he got to serve as Senate president for 8 years and as governor for 14 months. He was a serious, consequential, hardworking, dedicated lawmaker. He didn't hesitate to ruffle feathers. He once went undercover to work as an orderly at a state hospital. He once got help from a makeup artist so that he could spend the night at a homeless shelter. I met Cody for the first time in 1974. He was a freshman assemblyman from Essex County. He was 26 years old. I have a photo of him wearing a corduroy jacket and drinking a container of milk. At the time, I was a very young part-time aide who attended legislative sessions whenever I could. So I knew him for a long time. His passage brings a personal sadness and a recognition that the end of an era in New Jersey politics is coming. Anyone who knew Cody could tell you that there were always some good days with him and some bad days with him. There were plenty of times he'd call and yell at me. There were moments where I'd explain to him that he was missing some facts. Sometimes he'd push back. Sometimes he would say, okay, I guess you're right. And he'd sort of the way Gilda Radner's Emily Latella character on the old Saturday Night Live, he'd just say, never mind, and move on. But sometimes I was wrong, and Governor Codey enjoyed those moments best. And of course, there were times he'd call and yell and say, "Don't ever call me again," and then he'd call me about an hour later. He can be an incredibly forgiving man. And Cody could be extraordinarily funny. But those of us who knew him understood there were times where the only one who thought Cody was funny was Cody. I found that sort of endearing. And New Jersey clearly took to him. He left office as governor in January 2006 with a 71% approval rating. I mean, those numbers are unheard of. And that number was impossible to forget because Governor Codey would remind everyone he spoke to of his approval ratings. I have a small basketball signed by Governor Codey and Mikhail Gorbachev, the last leader of the Soviet Union, who helped to end the Cold War. Gorbachev had visited Codey at the State House in 2005. And so here's Gorbachev, the former chairman of the Supreme Soviet, marveling at Codey's ability to run both the executive and the legislative branches of state government simultaneously. I will always treasure that basketball, and I thank him for it, and I thank Sean Darcy for that. Codey was famously an undertaker, and in later years, he and I used to talk about how newspapers were writing fewer obituaries. That led to a rather frank conversation about funerals. And, Codey being Codey reminded me that he handles Jewish funerals as well and made a pitch for the business. After his 8 years as Senate president, he was unseated by Steve Sweeney. And after Sweeney lost re-election 14 years, Codey returned to leadership as vice president pro tempore of the state Senate. Nick Scutari gave him that post. He was thrilled to be presiding over the state Senate again. And shortly after he got that post, I remember explaining to Codey New Jersey's ambiguous line of gubernatorial succession that might include him if I mean, God forbid, a catastrophic event led to the demise of the governor and the lieutenant governor, the Senate president, the assembly speaker, the commissioner of transportation, then the Senate president pro tem and the speaker pro tem. After all that, Codey would be governor again. And he made me run through that scenario a total of 3 times. The third time it appeared he was writing it down. That he didn't wish anybody any harm, but he liked knowing that there was a path to his return to the governorship. And Cody gets a lot of credit for stepping down in 2023 voluntarily. He kept his health issues private, but he knew when it was time to walk away, and he did it on his own terms. And when Harry Lerner gave him the line in 1973, I'm certain he never imagined that he was creating a legend. Dick Codey earned his place in New Jersey history, and he did so by marching to his own drummer. May his memory be a blessing.